After many failed attempts at finding a great sounding, well-built, and sleek pair of affordable Bluetooth headphones, I decided to turn my efforts instead to finding an excellent pair of over-the-ear wired headphones. Although I much prefer the convenience of having wireless, I decided to try out some wired headphones to see if the great sound quality they can offer would be worth the trade-off of having to deal with a wire. So with a target budget of a single Benjamin, I set out to find the two best pairs I could based on the general consensus online, and then create a video that pitted them against each other to crown one of them as the best wired headphones for under $100. After a lot of research online, reading reviews, and browsing the audio forums, I ended up deciding on the very popular Audio-Technica ATH-M40Xs and pitted them up against the world-renowned Sony MDR-7506s. So Audio-Technica is a Japanese-based company known originally for high-quality microphones. Their AT-M series of headphones are available in a range of models, starting with the M20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and finally ending up with the M70s. Many audio enthusiasts and professionals consider the AT-M50Xs a very excellent pair of headphones, and the 40Xs I have here are basically their little brother, similar in quality but tuned for a slightly more flat frequency response. The Sony MDR-7506s were released way back in 1991, and are considered an industry standard and are favored among audio professionals, engineers, and broadcasters. You can spot them being used in radio, on film sets, and in a lot of music studios. They're considered studio monitors, and as such, they're designed to provide a very neutral, balanced, and flat frequency response. They're almost legendary in their durability, as all their internal parts are serviceable and replaceable, with some owners still reporting having their original headphones from over 20 years ago. In any event, let's go through a quick side-by-side comparison, or put them through some extensive listening tests to see how they performed, and finally, let you know which one took the title as best wired headphones for under $100. The Audio-Technicas retail for $99, while the Sonys are available for $20 cheaper at $79. Both are really lightweight headphones, with the Audio-Technicas weighing 8.5 ounces and the Sonys weighing 8.1. So they're very, very close in weight. They also both come with an obligatory carrying case and a 3.5mm to 1/4-inch adapters, because these headphones are, made to be used in home receivers and other studio equipment. And they also feature very long coiled audio cables as well, able to stretch out almost 10 feet each. Although one major difference here is that the Audio-Technica cable is detachable and comes with a shorter straight audio cable in the box. It should be noted that the headphone isn't compatible with just any audio cable, as it does have a twisting locking mechanism. But it's definitely a nice feature because the corded cables are a bit annoying since they're so long, and in the case of the Sony's actually a little heavy, which can cause a bit of a constant tug and drag on the cable and headphones. So both headphones use 40mm drivers, but the Audio-Technicas have a wider frequency range of 15 Hz up to 25 kHz, while the Sonys are rated at 10 Hz to 20 kHz, which was a bit odd to me since the Sonys didn't have as much bass as the Audio-Technicas. But as far as design differences, the Audio-Technicas are slightly larger overall, as you can see here, and the ear cups swivel to make it a little bit more comfortable around your neck. Although the opening has a slightly smaller shape overall, and I felt this fact as they were on my ears, but never to the point that it was uncomfortable or that it bothered me. I'd say both provided similar ability as far as sound isolation from outside noise. Obviously not as good as specifically made noise-canceling headphones, but they both make a pretty nice seal around the ear when you have them on, and that definitely helped when I went outside and was able to block out noise to some extent, even when the audio wasn't playing. But let's talk a little bit more in depth about the Sonys. So as you can see here, the first time I took these out of the box, to me they did feel a little bit more plastic than I would have thought, especially with everything I read about their durability online. But the plastic does seem pretty sturdy. It's not like really cheap plastic, and all the screws obviously are metal, and some of the hinges on the side, the important hinges here, are metal as well. They seem like they would be durable. They're super lightweight, which really struck me initially right off the bat when I pulled them out. And you can see they really fold up really nicely and compact down, very good for putting in a suitcase or something like that. Now the ear cups on them are really nice and soft, actually extremely soft, and they're nice and big. The whole opening on them is pretty big, so I had no problem with comfort on my ears. And there is a nice thick leather band across the top. It's probably not the most expensive leather in the world, but it feels nice and it works well. As far as the sound quality, I really found them to be excellent overall, especially for the price. They're super clear, they're crisp, accurate, and really detailed, regardless of whatever I was listening to. It does come down to a little bit of a personal decision when it comes to choosing good headphones, because some people prefer their audio to sound certain ways. For example, hip-hop lovers generally prefer a lot of low end. But to me, I just like really an overall balanced sound in pretty much all audio gear I get, whether it be speakers or headphones or whatever it is. And in that case, these deliver 110%. Accurate and neutral sounding audio equipment allows you to be able to enjoy a variety of different audio sources by giving you the versatility to clearly hear what the audio creator intended, regardless of what it is you're actually listening to. To some, they might sound a little too stereo, maybe even a little bit bright, but they were never fatiguing or harsh at all. Movies sounded great, dialogue was awesome, sound effects were very clear, and I just thought these headphones performed great no matter what I was listening to. As far as the cons on them, I'd say there were two. First is that the coiled cable on the audio cable on here is just really long and heavy, and to me makes them a little less ideal as a good travel headphone, even though they do compact down really nicely. The second thing is that although I love the way that these Sony sounded, it would have been nice if they did have a little bit more bass. They could definitely play low, and I bet this improves with a headphone amp or DAC, but I didn't really have access to one. There's nothing to complain about. I was happy with the bass. I was just saying, compared to the Audio-Technicas, they without a doubt had a lot more bass right out of the box. So the Audio-Technica is the ATH-M40Xs here. You can see they're definitely physically larger than the Sonys. And honestly, I can't tell between the two which one I kind of like better from a look standpoint. I think they both kind of look really nice in their own right. So they are larger, which makes them not quite as compact, although they do fold up here, and then the ear cup swivel, as I mentioned earlier. So I found the clamping force of the Audio-Technicas to be harder than the Sonys. The Sonys were just a lot more comfortable. I barely felt that they were on. Although I have read that they loosen up nicely over time. As far as the sound quality on them, I already mentioned that they had a lot more bass compared to the Sonys, but I felt that the upper and mid-range portions of the headphones was really muddled by comparison and, just not as detailed. Although the Audio-Technicas are rated to play up to 24 kilohertz, I thought the mids and the highs were nowhere near as clear as the Sonys. They just kind of just sounded really muddy, almost icy, you could say. And to me, they didn't just sound as good overall, but still pretty nice for $99, I'd have to say. Also, I used these when I was video editing, and I noticed one thing is that I could hear a lot more background noise in the audio of my videos when I used the Sonys that the Audio-Technicas just didn't pick up, and that's just kind of a testament to the fact that the Sonys are they're used for studio monitors. You're supposed to be able to hear those kind of things in the background stuff, especially when you're engineering tracks. Now in the end, I preferred the clarity of the Sonys, and even though I listened to a lot of bass heavy audio, I personally don't think sacrificing the detail of the Sonys to get the bass response in the Audio-Technicas is really worth the trade-off. I find myself wanting to use the Sonys a lot more often and just reaching for them to listen to music over the Audio-Technicas. They're slightly more comfortable too, not to mention $20 cheaper. For music lovers looking for an excellent set of wired headphones to use just around the house and occasionally even on the go, I think the Sony MDR7506s definitely live up to their reputation and are absolute steal for $79. To me, the extremely long coiled cable does limit their use on the go to some extent, but they'll still be able to give you many, many years of service, and to me are the best performing wired headphones you can buy for the price. But thanks a lot for watching, guys, and you all take care.